Hey everybody, welcome into This Week in Real Estate. I'm your host, Eric Sawyer. This is brought to you by the Elevate Real Estate Group, powered by Windermere Northwest Living. And let's dive right in. Every week we like to look at trends in the local real estate market from Clark County, Washington. We go week over week and we take a look and we track along the way to see what kind of micro trends we can see in the real estate market. We've got a good one for you coming up in a bit. And at the end, we're going to dispel a real estate myth for you that should be fun. So stick around and check this out. Should be a lot of fun. All right, let's dive right in. Starting in the upper left of this chart here, like we always do, with new listings. Where are we at with new listings? Well, they're up 14 new homes over last week, which equals an increase of 6.1%. Overall, the number of listings is still sitting right around 2 months worth of inventory, which, again, as we always say, a healthy real estate market is going to have somewhere between 4 to 6 months of inventory. So we're well below where we should be. We've got to pick up new listings. How about pending sales? Down slightly, essentially no movement at all, down 0.3% from 887 pending to 887 pending. Excuse me, from 884 to 887. So not a lot of movement there, really to speak of at all. How about closed sales? Well, closed sales are down from 109 to 94, which is 13.8% from this week to last. Again, sounding like a broken record here. It's just inventory, people. That's the story. It's all about inventory. That's got to change before some of those numbers significantly change. If you watched last week's episode, you may remember that time on market or days on market was our stat of the week. And this week, it's stat of the week again, as we have seen a continued trend downward in days on market. What does that mean? Well, let's take a look. 2 weeks ago, it was 53 days 53 days. That will drop down to 44 days. And then this week, it's down to 31 days on the market, average time on market. And so what does that number indicate again? Well, the number 31 is referring to how many days it would take to sell every home that is currently listed if no other homes came on the market, 31 days. Well, again, that number is a little bit higher than what you might think. If you see some homes in your neighborhood going quickly and selling, say, within a week, you would think, well, average time on market must be like a week, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days. Something like that, before it goes from live and active to pending. And a lot of homes that are resale homes are falling into that category. They're moving very quickly if they're priced correctly. But the homes that are skewing that number in the wrong direction are those new construction homes that are getting close to being done, but they're not quite done. And so they sit on the market being advertised and marketed, but they're not under contract. And that skews that days on market in the wrong direction. So again, that's three consecutive weeks where that number is trending down, and that indicates that the market is heating up for sellers. So keep a close eye on that as we continue to move along. Average sales price is up from $1,100 from $596,400 to $597,500. So not a big movement there, a little bit. We're going to skip over median and go right into our mortgage quote for the week. Again, pretty standard, pretty close to what it's been for the last couple of weeks. 6.875 or so for conventional 30-year fixed, 6.25 for VA, 6.5 for FHA. And from our friends at WFG Escrow and Title and Altos, we wrap up this week's update with the average rent in Clark County, which stayed pretty stagnant at $24.95 a month, which, by the way, is equal to the highest it's been all year. Not surprising there. It has moved around, but it is sitting pretty consistently at $24.95. Ouch! Stop renting. If you can afford to buy, if you can afford the payment, make that happen. If you don't know a real estate agent, I might happen to know a guy, so just reach out and let us know. And I promise you something fun. Before we wrap up this week's episode, I wanted to add a little nugget of real estate wisdom that falls into that category of people that believe that they like to buy square footage. Now, you might believe that you have a square footage number in mind, meaning you can't go below, say, 2,000 square feet. And that might be something that you're going to stick to for whatever reason. But the reality is you're not actually buying square footage when you buy a house. You're buying floor plan. And that is actually some significant wisdom to pass along, because we get too hung up on the square footage of a house when really we should be looking more at the floor plan. And if the floor plan fits what we're trying to do, if it fits with the number of kids we have, the number of kids we want to have, the number of kids we're sending off to college. It's all of the things that you're looking for. You're looking for floor plan. There's other numbers and factors that are more important. And in that concept of square footage is cost per square foot. That's a number that we don't spend a lot of time talking about here, because cost per square foot for the most part, you could look at it on maybe a macro level. You're going to say, hey, for the entire Clark County universe of real estate, what is the average cost per square foot? And you can see if it's going up or going down. And that's just going to be an overall trend. That's just like average cost per house. But it's not something that you're going to hang your hat on when it comes to buying that house that you're looking at. That cost per square foot is just one number, one data point. Don't let that be the be all end all. And by the way, when you're a seller and you're not in the buying seat, but when you're a seller, please don't make that mistake of falling into the house down the street sold for $300 a square foot, so mine should sell for $300 a square foot because I'm 5 doors down. It doesn't work that way. You've got to look at everything that house did to update itself, everything that house is from an architectural standpoint. When was it built compared to yours? There's a 100 different data points that you would look at first instead of that cost per square foot. So don't fall into the cost per square foot trap. That's a helpful piece of advice. Hopefully that helps. This little bit of wisdom passed along to you from Windermere Northwest Living and the Elevate Real Estate Group. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check us out every single week. We bring you this fantastic info so you can track it along. Take care, everybody.